Now we're joined by Osho Krishan this afternoon. Osho, a very good afternoon to you as well. And let's talk about your first stock, and that is Macrotech developers, or Loda as we know it as. What is your view on the charts for this one? What is the target that we should keep?
Macrotech developers have seen a very strong run from the levels of 480 to 700 zone, and from there onwards there has been some kind of cool off or profit booking in the counter. But on the technical parameters, the Fibonacci retracement is placed at the levels of 620. So that means 620 is a very strong demand zone for this counter, and from there onwards we are expecting some consolidation from here on. And on the higher end, on a gradual basis, we can see the immediate target of 680 in this counter, and gradually we can even expect 700 levels to be retested, and on the downside 620 will be acting as the first support zone, followed by a very strong support zone around 608 and 610 levels. So we are having an optimistic view in Lodha and expecting 680 in a very short term period.
Alright, optimistic view coming in on Macrotech developers from Osho. Alright, moving on. Osho, let's talk about Cesc. And if you look at the stock performance, it's not giving that much of a great return. Only the last 3 months is when the stock has started performing. 3-month return is approximately 7 to 8% or so. Where do you see Cesc headed? Do you see it break out of the range right now and give you a major upside?
Overall, the trend has been on the downside, but looking at the recent developments, as you have mentioned, in the previous 3 months, it has gained a lot of traction, and on technical parameters, it is on the verge of giving an inverted head and shoulder pattern breakout. So from here onwards, we can expect 7% more upside in this counter. On technical levels, 79 will be the first target that we can expect in Cesc in the coming period. So overall, we can witness some kind of rebound in this counter from here on. And once the target of 79 reaches in this counter, then from there onwards, we can even see a very decent reversal pattern in Cesc. So we are also having a very bullish approach in Cesc and expect a short-term support around the levels of 68 to 70 odd levels.
Okay, let's move on.
Alright, moving on. Osho, let's talk about LIC, and this one definitely came out with a huge bang when it was coming out with its IPO, but has not been able to live up to the investor expectations. So where do you see LIC headed from here on? Do you think that there is some scope of revival? You see it on the charts?
Overall, the trajectory remains to be on the downside, but looking at the recent developments, we can even figure out that from here onwards, we can witness a very decent up move in this counter, because on technical chart we are witnessing the same inverted head and shoulder pattern breakout in this counter. And also one more significant development is the previous swing low was approximately around 600 level, and that has been surpassed in a decisive manner. So from here onwards, one can expect gradual movement, but on the higher end we are expecting 720 from medium term time frame. In the recent period, we might see some consolidation in the levels of 600 to 645. So this should be acting as a very strong support base before the next leg of rally. So from here onwards, we are having a bullish approach in this counter. 720 will be the first target that we are looking for.
Let's move on and talk about Happiest Minds on the charts then, and today buzzing in trade as well, Osho. At the current price of 945, is it still a good buy, or would you wait for some bit of a correction?
We are witnessing the 200-day SMA to get surpassed in Happiest Mind. So this is also a very positive setup on the technical charts. And looking at the overall mid-cap IT segment, it has gained traction in the recent period. So mid-cap IT is looking very positive. Happiest Mind, looking at the overall correction, it is placed at a decent level. So from here onwards, we can expect a decent up move, not very huge target. The first target is placed around 1020 to 1030. And once it gets tested, then we can expect a target of 1100 also in this counter. And even on the downside, looking at the risk and reward, the risk is very much nominal. Approximately 890 to 900 is a very strong demand zone for this counter. So from here onwards, we are having a downside of approximately 50 points, and on the higher end, we are expecting a target of nearly 150 points. So on risk reward ratio, it is looking very lucrative at current prices.
Alright, moving on.
Move on and talk about Amara Raja batteries on the charts then. And so today the stock is not doing anything exciting, and in the last few months also it's not done anything great in terms of returns. What is the view on this one now?
Overall, the battery companies are doing quite decent in the recent period because looking at the technical chart, it has given a decent uprun from the levels of 560 odd levels and currently hovering around 635, 640 levels. So from here onwards, we can expect the upside in this counter towards 660 on an immediate basis. And once it surpasses the level of 660, which will be a symmetrical triangle pattern breakout, then from there onwards, we can expect a decent up move of 35 odd points. So 700 are on the charts for Amara Raja battery, and the time frame should be short to medium term perspective.
We're going to talk about Jindal Steel then, and Osho, in terms of the move today, the stock is buzzing in trade. Last 1 week also 11% return, and that up move is surely seen in this one for the last 1 year as well. The green has continued here. What is your view on this one? Should we expect a correction or the up move will continue?
See, overall, we have seen a very positive construction in JSPL. Even looking at the recent construction, it has made an island gap pattern on the recent daily chart. So that means on the downside, we are having a very strong support at the bullish gap, approximately at the levels of 555. And on the higher end, we can expect 620 to be tested in the near period. But obviously, because in last two trading sessions, we have seen a significant up move. So there can be some kind of correction or consolidation in this counter. But on the higher end, we are expecting that 620 is very much achievable for this counter. And once we surpass those levels, then from there onwards, 650 should be the immediate target for JSPL.
Let's move on to stock number 40 for today, and that is Steel Authority of India. Osho, on the charts, what is this one looking like in the last 1 year? From those lows of 63, we managed to see a recovery. Stock is currently somewhere around 87 rupees. What is the future trajectory of this one?
See, looking at the technical chart, sale is looking very promising because on the daily chart, it is forming a double bottom formation pattern followed by sloping trendline breakout. So there are two parameters on which it is looking very positive. And even from here onwards, we are expecting the upside target of approximately 90 to 91 on immediate basis. So that means from here onwards, 5 rupees and 5 or 6 rupees odd movement we can expect in this counter in a very short term perspective. So one should definitely keep this counter in their radar. Even on the downside, we are having a very strong support at 43.5 levels. So 83.5 levels. So one should definitely keep a stop loss around 83.5 and look for buying opportunity towards the level of 90 to 91 in the very short term perspective.
All right, moving on. Osho, let's talk about RCF. You know, the fact has been soaring new highs every day, but is RCF also going to follow a similar trend?
See, overall, it is not that much, it does not have that much potential to be on the 52 weeks high as of now, but it is looking very decent in the recent period because we are witnessing a rise in the trading volume. So that is a very positive construction or development that can be seen in RCF. And from here onwards, with today's strong movement, we can expect that on immediate basis, 118 to 120 should be tested in a very short term time frame. And also the stock is hovering above the 200-day SMA. So that means the base is very much near, approximately on technical levels. 108 to 107 is a very strong support zone. And on the higher end, we can expect the immediate target of 120. And once it surpasses 120, then from there onwards, we can see a strong rebound in this counter. So we should keep this counter in our radar for the immediate target of 120.
Sure, you picked out one more name from the realty space, and that is Brigade Enterprises. Similar charts to Macro or Macrotech developers, or what should we be expecting here?
The overall, the target for Brigade was approximately around 560 levels on the technical chart. But from there onwards, we have obviously seen a decent up move towards 600 zone. And from here onwards, we can expect that this 52-week high, because once the counter has broken the previous 52-week high, that is a very positive development in this counter. But looking at the overall technical parameters, we might see some kind of cool off in this counter. So 560 will be the price where it should be accumulated from short-term perspective. So we are expecting that there should be more 14 to 15 points of correction in this counter. And from there onwards, one can start accumulating for the upside target of 620 in the short-term period.
So that's the take coming in on Brigade Enterprises. On that note, thank you so much, Osho, for joining us on the show, as well as Ashish and Harsh and Lisa for taking our viewers through all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. But there is